everyone, it's Lynn from SheNANNAgans. Welcome to Storytime. Thanks for joining me today. Now I'm going to read you a story called Mr. McGee Goes to Sea, and this was written by Pamela Allen. Can you see Mr. McGee? He's there holding a teapot with a brolly under his favourite apple tree. Now this is a rhyming story, so let's go inside and see if we can find some words that rhyme and also hear about Mr. McGee, who ends up going to sea. Here we go. Mr. McGee goes to sea. Mr. McGee was sipping tea beneath his spreading apple tree when up above him in the sky a big black cloud came floating by. If you see a big black cloud, what do you think? That's right, I think so that too. It's going to rain. Let's see. Oh dear, it's going to rain, he said. Just then a drop fell on his head. Can you hear those rhyming words? Said and head. He quickly opened up his brolly. I'm warm and dry, he thought. How jolly. So that means he's happy when he says jolly. And look, he's now staying dry under his brolly, having his cup of tea. But while he sat there sipping tea, the drips and drops became a sea. So it's starting to rain, it's getting heavy. And look at the sea. Wonder what's going to happen. Quite soon he found he was afloat. His chair became a little boat. Can you see Mr. McGee? He's on his chair, and here's the sea, and he's still got his teapot and his cup of tea. Holding the teapot carefully, he didn't want to spill the tea, Mr. McGee just sailed away on that particular rainy day. Wonder where he's going. Now, out at sea where it was deep, there lay a huge fish, half asleep. He's a very big fish, isn't he? Wonder what's going to happen. The monster yawned. Oh, and opened wide. Poor Mr. McGee went down inside. Look. He's going inside the mouth. That would be so scary. Now in the dark, he fumbled about, stabbing and jabbing to get out. And look, there's Mr. McGee. He's still got his brolly and he's using it and stabbing and jabbing like that inside the belly of the big fish, because it's very dark and he's very scared. I wouldn't like being in there, would you? No. The great fish gave a little cry. Oh, 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 I've swallowed a fly. Has he swallowed a fly? No, he swallowed Mr. McGee. Then his huge mouth formed a spout and shot the tiny creature out. Look, Mr. McGee is going flying in the air with his brolly and his teapot. Mr. McGee flew through the sky like a rocket racing by. And there's the chair, and he's still hanging on to his teapot. He must really like his cup of tea. until he was above the town, and there he gently drifted down. Looks like he's got a parachute, doesn't it? He landed safely in his tree. He hadn't spilt a drop of tea. Did you hear that word, tree and tea? They're both rhyming words too, aren't they? And there's the same tree that he was sitting on. He was sitting underneath this tree at the beginning of the story. So then and there, he poured a cup, he stirred it round and drank it up. So you can see him sitting in the tree, and all his other things are in the tree. Have a look. Can you see his bed? Can you see his brolly? Can you see his table? And what about his teapot? Yes, they're all there, and he's having a cup of tea in a tree. That's pretty funny, isn't it? Ah, he said, there's nothing like a cup of tea when you've been sailing on the sea. And look at the beautiful rainbow. And that's the end of the story about Mr. McGee. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time at SheNANNAgans for another story. Bye.